Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. I'm your host, Ellie, and happy Wednesday. Yeah, already halfway through the week. It's going by pretty quick. And it looks like the weather is finally moving out. We're going to see some warmer weather again. Uh, we got a weather report and a little bit on earthquakes, not very many across the globe. And a snake on the plane. I bet that freaked everybody out. Just when we weren't allowed to put our seat back and uh, trim our toenails. Now there's a snake on the plane. So we'll get to that too. Hope everyone's having a great week. It seems like a nice week to get out and rake leaves, huh? Rake up your leaves before the snow hits. But if you're up in the northern part of the state, you probably already got some snow. All the way up into Canada, I was watching uh, How to Hunt guy. He's the Bigfoot guy, and he was having snow falling on his show this morning. And I was like, wow, look at that. Snow. I'm ready. I'm ready for the snow. No more hot weather, no more global warming, whatever they want to call it. I'm ready for some snow. All right, so we're going to get on with the weather, and uh, you're going to see the more snow going up the north coast. So there we go. But everything's moving out, and there's that red line where everything is uh, going to start warming up. Karen, boy, we've everybody's missed you, Karen. Did you feel the prayers and the vibes coming your way? Um, uh, I've been asking for everybody to send you some prayers. So I'm going to get on with the weather, and here we go.
Well, here's a look at your national forecast. We made it to the middle of the week, and for the Northeast, well, you are looking at cool temperatures today. Along the coast, it's going to be dry. Inland, that's where you'll have some rain. Still dealing with a few snow showers through the UP of Michigan. Otherwise, today it will be dry, but it will be cold. Down to the south, temperatures stay well below average, especially in the morning. Some bitter cold there. Out to the west, temperatures still cool, but starting to warm up in the Pacific Northwest. And you'll really start to notice that by Thursday. So the 70s start to creep into the forecast there in Boise and Salt Lake City. Now, for the South on Thursday, temperatures slightly warm up as well. So daytime highs will start to climb back into the 70s and 60s, but you still have one more cold morning to go. And then Thursday up to the Midwest, you stay dry, temperatures stay cold. And for the Northeast, you're still dealing with 50s and low 60s in most spots.
Uh, so it looks like more snow up around the northern part of the states, and then we're going to start seeing the warmer weather. We got down in the, I think it was 29 last night, and I had to make sure I left the faucets dripping. That's one thing I should have told you guys: leave your faucets dripping during this cold spell that's going across the states. All right, let's get rid of this, and we're going to move on with uh, the temperature flip flop ahead, coast to coast. A big pattern change, but we should be now. Everybody's saying, "Well, why is it just flip flopped?" Well, it should be in the 70s and 80s right now, but we had Stromboli blow. We had two or three other volcanic blowing ash. Not so much lava, but a lot of ash. When you put ash into the atmosphere, it drops your temperatures down 10 to sometimes 20 degrees. So, um, so, so anyway, I think Karen is dying for a visit with me, but no, stay with the little peanut. Uh, enjoy it, soak up every second until they get like my other grandkids' age, like 10, because then they don't even want to be around you anymore. They're like, oh, well, I don't want to go to grandma's. Grandma's no fun. Even if I play hopscotch with them, they don't, yeah, no, it's no fun with grandma's. So, but I thought the same way growing up as a kid. We're going to go spend the day at grandma's house. Well, there ain't nothing to do there besides sit and listen to adults. So, uh, but no, soak up, those with babies soak up every moment. Um, Babies that smell good. Why is that? And then if we try to get the baby powder and the baby sprays and all that, don't it's not the same. It just makes us smell like baby powder. So, all right, flip flop ahead with the temperatures. Boy, looky here. Uh, Look at that cold spell over there, and then the warm coming across. Finally, we're going to get back into the regular temperatures just in time for Halloween. She wolf. I got to go find my she wolf stuff. I want to find the kit. Uh, Last year um, I had to get a mask. I like the she wolf kind of thing where I have to do my own face and put my own hair on my face. You know, everybody gets a kick out of me having a beard around here. So and then they asked me if I've quit shaving, and I was like, I don't shave. Oh yeah, all right. I got so much coming up on the show. I shouldn't be jabbering. All right, here we go with the flip flop ahead.
Now we're pretty locked in right now, and we have been for the last couple of days. There is a change coming up by the time we get to the end of the week, but it generally features kind of cool temperatures in the east and the southeast, and then warmer temperatures in the west. But what's going to happen over the next few days, and it's already started a little bit, is the warmth is going to spread farther into the plains. Thursday's highs are going to be well above average in the plains. By the time we get to Sunday, you see how far east that warmer air spreads. By the way, the colors on these maps are showing you how far above or below average temperatures are forecast to be. By Friday, a lot of the plains, the Midwest, kind of spreads up into the Great Lakes by Saturday. Still pretty close to average temperature wise in the southeast, but look at the big change in the west. And that was a spot where it was way above average for the last few days, creating problems with fighting the wildfires and all that kind of stuff. We're going to get the temperatures to cool off out there, and there's also some precipitation in the forecast. Generally, for next week, it's just above average temperatures in the east and below average temperatures in the west. That's kind of the general outlook.
Boy, look at that. I should have backed up a little bit. We got another cold front coming across. It's just gonna flip and a flop and a flip and a flop. Uh, wow, I like that kind of weather, except for wasn't it you, Susan, that um, I'm a wolf every year, though, Karen. The only time I really changed is when I did a ghost, but I was a part of the haunted house, and and the other time I was. You remember that movie? I think it was like Elizabeth Taylor and Betty Davis, and she was the crazy old that had the weird makeup. Um, Whatever happened to Baby Jane? Is that what it was? Or Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte? It was one of them movies, and I dressed up at her. But most of the time, I do wolf, she wolf. I'm just into she wolf, I guess. So, so, mm. So anyway, uh, and a hi to Susan. And boy, yeah, so the weather's going to go back and forth. It's going to be, warm, and then we're going to go to cold. And Susan, was it you that said you catch the flu? It was either you or Linda that said that that's what causes the flu um, to be more prominent. Now, they say, I guess they have the pills and then they got the shots for the flu shot. They say they're low on it this year. They say a lot of people are running in to get it with the flu running around. So, the zombie this year have jalapeno. Uh, I don't want to be a zombie. Zombies are scary. Plus, my sister Peggy hates zombies. I mean, I think I told you that she just is freaky about that. That and men in gorilla suits. Yeah. Um, so earthquakes. I changed up my map a little bit. I think you guys might like this. Um, um, but I don't know if I can get a close up of it. There we go. The white is the population, and then the reds that you're seeing, more reds, is all the fault lines, a little bit more of the fault lines. Um, so it's a little changeover. Uh, you, I, Karen, I'll send you my granddaughter. She'll give you the flu in a heartbeat. Yeah, it's starting all over again, Karen. I was telling them yesterday that how it is with my granddaughter. that what for 2 years, um, um, every time she'd come back from her dad's, I'd get sick. I was catching a cold. I was catching the flu. I was catching whooping cough. Oh, another kind of weird flu, and then almost pneumonia. And man, it was like, Karen, uh, me and you went rounds on it. That every time she went to her dad's and came back, I ended up sick. So we do have a new earthquake map here, and there wasn't all that many. Let me check and see. There was 45 earthquakes across the globe, and the newest one is up where Mendocino County in Petrolia, 2.6, and that's up around Eureka where I lived, where they had the earthquake. Also, um, Toya, Texas, they got a 2.5, and an odd one, Dover, Oklahoma, that is now starting to have earthquakes. That was a 2.6. I keep forgetting to ask Ed if he feels any of these. Here's another odd one in Ridgely, Tennessee, a 2.5. Now, the ones that's all piled up is over on the Puerto Rico. They have about 6, 7 earthquakes that hit there. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it to you. Last week, LA had 10 earthquakes. There were ones and twos, but they had a lot of earthquakes. Um, so we have Guas, Puerto Rico, a 3.2. Virgin Islands, Charlotte, Amali, 3.3. Um, Mona Passage, 3.8. Antonio, Puerto Rico, 3.7. And when you light it up on the globe, in Juan, Puerto Rico, 3.3, you put it on my globe, and it's just you can't even see the islands. It's so covered up in earthquakes, and they're all in between a 1.9. Usually they run about 1.9. Some are 1.2s and 1.5s, but you normally see that over in Yellowstone. Um, but it just seemed that these earthquakes run 1.9 to about almost a 4 over there on the islands. So it's shaking. It's a shaking there. All right. We have a Pahala, Hawaii at 2.8. And let's see if I can get this other one. Napupu, Hawaii, a 2.7. Now, anything over a 2.5 will cause Mauna Loa to become lava active. Doesn't mean it's going to spew over. It just means that it starts bubbling and gets more active, especially with earthquakes. Um, so over in Fiji, Levuka, Fiji, 4.4. Vanuatu, Sola, Vanuatu. Vanuatu has got uh, a volcano that has never stopped, and they say 800 years, I believe. It's never stopped. And I think I told you guys about it yesterday, where a lot of people go there to vacation to get pictures of an exploding volcano. All right, onward. Solomon Islands of Lata, 4.7. Now we're going to move over to the bigger ones. Tolibo, Indonesia got a 5.1. The Philippines, Magsaysay, 5.4. So those are good size ones. Looks like um, China, Qinghai, 5.5. So that's a pretty strong one for China. Um, then we got Myoka, Japan, got a 5.2. Oops, I'm way off there. I put us in the ocean. I know you guys don't want to see the ocean, do you? Um, so up around, let's see, Russia, Kamchatsky, they got a 4.6. And then there was quite a few up in Alaska. Ferry, Alaska, 2.5. Um, Petersville got 2.5. And Nick, 2.9. And King Solomon, Alaska, a 3.1. The snow crabs up around Alaska, the oceanic and the fish and game type people, they've ended snow crab season. It's done with. I believe it has to do with the warmer waters from the volcanoes and also all those earthquakes. They're saying climate change. I don't think it is. So, well, that is it for earthquakes. And I still believe, and it's quiet. It's quiet on the Aleutian Islands, huh? I'm thinking, and I'm still holding my hope that, or not hope. That's awful. That the volcanoes around the Aleutian Islands, I think they're going to blow instead of a horrible earthquake in L.A. But we'll have to see. Um, Karen's home alone. Uh, everybody lock their doors. She's home alone. I mean, she's a wild woman when she's home alone. I've heard stories. Isn't that right, Karen? Hmm. So, all right, I'm going to move on. Uh, a California man sues hot sauce maker after he reads the bottle. Well, yeah. Uh, when you start reading the bottle, you go, "Yikes!" No, yeah, that's why I don't use that kind. No, okay. He realized that Texas Pete hot sauce contained hot sauce not made in Texas, but in North Carolina. Okay, well, now. Um, he complained, according to the complaint, the geographic origin of a product matters. Yep, I think he's woke. And the company is therefore prohibited to misrepresent it. Uh, all right, so how is it that the tasty red pepper sauce it made in North Carolina happens to be named Texas Pete? Okay, he's got to be the same dude that wants to do away with Aunt Jemima. Uh, I just, I didn't read this earlier. I just figured it had something in it, a chemical, something. No, no, I should have read it. I should have read it. Um, uh, Legend has it that when Sam Gardner and his three sons, Thad, Ralph, and Harold, were trying to come up with the brand name for the spicy sauce they had created, they suggested the name Mexican Joe. I think that this woke guy would be upset with that too. Um, it's got to have a Mexican name, he says. It's made in the States. It's got to have a hot, I guess, U.S. hot sauce. I don't know. Um, so he doesn't. He's going to sue them and make them change the name because it's not Texas Pete. So, oh boy. I'd like to be the judge in that case. Well, come on, people. Yeah. All right. Now, I know you guys are wanting to know about the snake on the plane. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I I didn't know whether I wish I could have seen video of it. And I tried to see if someone took video of all these people shrieking, yelling, jumping in their seats and freaking out. It was on a United's uh, airline flight, and it was flight 2038 from Tampa, Florida. Um, it was a garden. It was a garter snake. It wasn't one that was poisonous or bite. They don't know how it got on the plane though. But it sent everyone into a tizzy after they discovered the slithery stowaway had found itself on board the 737-800 jet. Uh, According to Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the serpent was found slithering around business class. Yeah, it knew to hang out with the rich people. Yeah, and I bet it got better food. Found a bigger mouse. Crew members were quickly notified after the passengers began shrieking, yelling, pulling up their feet, jumping in their seats, and moving to the back of the cabin. It's unclear how the snake got aboard the plane, but the snake was released back to the wild after its lovely 2 hour flight in business class. I wonder if they charged him for the seat. So, ah, but a snake on the plane. And no one, they can't prove anybody brought it on the plane and it got loose. They just said they don't know how it got on the plane. But I know if it was a passenger, they're like, I'm just going to get off the plane and leave the snake. So much for Harry the snake. I'm not going to take him home with me. Boy. All right. Service dogs. Oh boy. This one I think is beautiful. This is the most beautiful story, human interest story I've heard this week. And so I pulled it up for you. This is Allison Appleby. She's 17 years old from Sherman, Texas. Um, she has seizures and she has a seizure alert dog. And not only that, but a support dog. Well, she was crowned Miss Dallas Teen USA for this year. And recently, with her loyal service dog, Brady, right at her side, um, she not only has epilepsy, but she has autism. And she did win the teen Miss the Dallas Miss Teen competition, and she'll go on to the teen pageant. Um, so there she is. There she is with her little buddy, and she was crowned. So that I think that's awesome. We need more stories like this, and need to hear more about people like her. Uh, it's you in these pageants, you put your talent and your beauty, and it's you really don't hear the inside story of some of these beautiful women that go into these pageants. All right, onward. Um, well, the coyotes. You got to beware. The coyotes are always out, and they do tend to go hunting for small animals and especially small dogs. And a dog walker in Massachusetts recently called law enforcement for help after he became surrounded by a swarm of coyotes. They said it wasn't, and coyotes usually go in packs. Um, they're usually not individually; they go in quite a few. And this one, it happened this last Saturday, almost a week ago, and he was surrounded by 9 coyotes walking his dogs. And he said he wasn't able to run them off no matter what he did. He he says um, he had similar encounters, but it wasn't this many. And usually, if he yelled and made loud noises or threw something, they would run off. But these weren't going to. These were, when they get into a pack, then um, you know, they tend to be more aggressive. And it wasn't until the police officer showed up that these dogs ran off. So be very careful if you live we're a little bit more rural and you have coyotes around. I know we have them here in the city. Uh, oh boy, this one we heard about the radiation in the water and the stream and under or real close to the school yesterday. Well, now I think everybody's interested to see what's going on with our water, and with the water's levels getting lower, what's in it. And a new study testing for a class of chemicals um, and that don't break down in our environment. I mean, some of them will go through the soil and water, and over time they'll dissipate. So the environmentalists decided to take a look at the water, and they all throughout the United States. And what they found was 80% of the U.S. waterways are contaminated. Um, and it was alarming to them. And so I do have a clip on it. Here we go. Let me move stuff around so you guys can see it. All right, so the dog is getting yelled at. All right, here we go.
Of U.S. waterways during a recent survey. They're called PFAS, and since they do not break down in the environment, they are known as forever chemicals. The group involves over 12,000 man made substances, often used to make things water, heat, or stain resistant. The problem is, PFAS are linked to cancer and other serious problems. Canals, creeks, and rivers were tested across 34 states, and forever chemicals were detected in 29 of them. The study's authors say the widespread contamination shows that existing laws and limits are not adequate, and the cost is twofold on taxpayers' wallets to pay for the cleanup and on their well being.
Okay. You know, when I was out in California, we found that some of the plastics were causing chemicals to be in a lot of the waterways. That's why pick up the garbage, even if it's not yours. If you go out somewhere, a park, and you see garbage, pick it up and throw it in the garbage on the way out. Um, you saw the same thing, boy. Uh, I got to get some of this stuff here. All right, here we go. And Linda G came in the room. She says, "Sorry, I'm late." Um, and Susan, I bet you're talking about that beauty queen. Uh, yeah, that was I. That just really you don't hear that much personal stories about the beauty pageant queens because a lot of them they do a lot to get there, and some of them don't. Some of them just get there on they're just beautiful women and very talented. All right, we have Karen. I don't know if you've seen it. Was on I believe Fox News early this morning. I tried to grab the clip, but um, yeah, it was. It was on early this morning. I'm not sure which show, but what they're finding out, it was an Amber Burgoyne, Fox and Friends first. So it was a 6 o'clock show or 4 o'clock show, early, Fox and Friends first. And she was on there, and she has premature twins. And she is coming out and becoming a spokesperson over the baby formula uh, shortage. It's been over a year, and the Biden administration hasn't even addressed it yet. And she she says people need to wake up about this, not just people with the kids and the babies that are hunting for this food, but um, those that don't. Because if more people stand up for it, they might tend to push uh, this administration or even the Food and Drug Administration into doing something. They've had plenty of time for these manufacturers to either fix their equipment or um, even start producing the baby formula. Now they say I guess it's the powder that is basically running out. Um, and she says that a lot of the shelves in big cities are almost bare. And so she wants the Food and um, Drug Administration to provide some answers of why this agency had such a delayed response in adapting to the shortages, but continue to have the price soar. I mean, if they're not running, why increase the prices on something that they're not producing? And she said she's pretty sure the middle class is about to be taken out, she said, but there is really no middle class anymore. It's kind of helpless, and there's just nothing there. There's nothing to help them. uh, and the poor, she says she has no clue how the people that are very poor that have children or babies uh, can even afford to get the liquid form of baby formula. So, all right. So, the baby formula, and this is a lady with premature twins that's going to step forward and she wants to be a spokesperson for this. So, um, now we keep hearing about these puppy mills, and it just um, uh, and how bad it gets, or people that are hoarders. Now, there are some people that do well and they put the dogs in pens and cats, and they do it right. And there's others that just have a love for these animals, but they don't want to get rid of them. And they tend to uh, have more puppies, more kittens, and it just becomes madness. Well, nearly 300 animals were rescued from a vermin infested Long Island home on Tuesday. The animals included cats, rabbits, birds, tortoises, and snakes. Hey, that's where snake on the plane came from. I don't think so. Um, they were found in Miller Place residence that was infested with cockroaches, lice, and extreme amount of mites. According to the authority, the air in the residence you couldn't even breathe in. They had to get masks and basically oxygen to be able to go in there. And not only that, but they had to put on suits for protection. Uh, you've got situations where cages are stacked with so many animals that they were urinating and defecating on them, not only others in the cage, but the cages below. You have things like conjunctivitis, uh, bald animals that usually have lots of fur, urine stains, sores, unhealed injuries, and scars. Um, the 51-year-old, and guess what? She was a social worker. Was reported overwhelmed by the animals in her home, she said, and didn't know what to do. She said she had good intentions, but the situation got out of control. She found out an animal was sick or needed a home. She just took it underneath her wing and didn't want to get rid of them. Um, uh, while she was out of town, her patients, um, to feed the animals and setting off a chain reaction wasn't something she would do. So as she left, they would just be uh, uh, without until she got back. Um, then she said there was a certain point recently she got caregivers to help her, but then the caregivers tripped the alarm on the fire department and led the fire marshal into the building and led them to take a look at what she was doing. So it sounds like she was in an apartment complex to also. So, yep, Karen Keys is her name, and 50. She's 51 years old, and they charged her with animal cruelty, confinement, and hoarding too many animals. So, I bet that. Oh, if it's an apartment, oh my gosh. Can you imagine all them bugs? Well, I won't gross you guys out. All right. Uh, so I got to keep an eye on my time here. Church gives food to 1 millionth person as members struggle with inflation. And they gave this 100th, was it 100th? 1 millionth, I'm sorry, person an extra dose of food or extra food. Uh, Georgia's New Birth Missionary Baptist Church is celebrating helping citizens during the pandemic and those struggling with ongoing inflation. The church reached its goal to serve as many as they could, but they never expected it would be 1 million, 1 million families. Uh, and they said that this should be something that this administration should pay attention to. And so 1 million families will be fed today, and they want you to um, they want people to help other churches in their communities with food, and they said cereal and box foods and canned goods, and that they can also help the needy. So that was a pretty um, that there was a nice thing. But the churches do that. I belong to a church that's right behind me almost. That they do that. They fit what they do is they give out food, but they also have a one night when they do give out the food that they have like a potluck or they you can go and get a hot meal with your family. And I think we need to see more of that. Um, oh boy, let's see. I guess I all right. Um, there's some. I'm going to go over a few life, um, a few life hacks that will help you out. Um, and one is when you're moving, and a lot of it. Mary was moving, and I should have told her this little trick. If you get, and sometimes it even helps to keep your clothes fresh and you throw a fabric softener in it. But if clothes that you're going to move or you're not wearing, get a garbage bag. And sometimes the scented ones are nice. And you put it all the way up and then you wrap uh, the ties around the hangers. And you could carry it like you would get your clothes from the dry cleaners. And it's a lot easier to move things that way. Uh, so not only that, but let's see. A lot of people didn't know. Some of these headlights that you see them, they get dirty and start turning white. Use Crest toothpaste. Uh, that's a neat kind of life hack. Um, not only in this one here, this is the last one. I'll probably be doing a few of these because everybody likes these ideas. Um, when you get ground beef or sausage or any type of bulk meat like that, um, and you separate it out into individual baggies or storage baggies, flatten it out. And why would you do that? It freezes quicker. But not only that, when you take it out, it thaws a lot quicker. And, it don't take the whole day long in the fridge to thaw out. It thaws a lot quicker if you want to not have it sitting in your refrigerator for too long. All right, so oh boy. Um, so now I'm going to get to the funny list. This one here is love tips by kids. Of course, we want the kids to tell us, what we should be doing. Yeah, kids say the darndest things. You remember that show? Um, so some great tips on love and relationships by kids, and this is between the age of 5 and 8 years old. All right. Oh, yeah, boy. My 5-year-old could probably tell me some things. All right. What is the proper age to get married? They asked. And the best one was from Tom. He's 5 years old. Once I'm done with kindergarten, I'm going to find me a wife, he said. All right. What do most people do on a date? Mike, of 8 years old, on the first date, they just tell each other lies. And that usually gets them interested to go on the second date. All right, then we got Jim that's 8 years old. When is it okay to kiss someone? You should never kiss a girl unless you have enough bucks to buy her a big ring and her own game system because she'll want to have games to play at the wedding. Oh, did you? I don't know if you guys heard. They opened up at the tent city type thing up in New York, and it's got a living room in it. It's got laundry service. It's got video. It's got a PlayStation, not PlayStation, the other one. Um, my grandson's got one. Uh, but they've got like a bunch of those. They got a setup for free phones. They're going to give them free phones and also usage of phones. And they're giving them nice little fresh sheets and that they're going to give them every few days. Boy, they got them all set up. All right. So let's move on. Concerning why love happens between two particular people, Jan, of 6 years old, no one is sure why it happens, but I heard it has something to do how you smell. That's why perfume and deodorant are so popular. Oh, okay. On falling in love is like, okay, what is it like? Now, Roger, 7 years old, said like an avalanche where you have to run for your life. Leo is 7 years old. If falling in love is anything like learning how to spell, I don't want to do it. It takes too long. Um, okay. On the role of good looks in love, Jean of 8 years old, I want to be loved by someone who isn't already in your family, and it doesn't hurt to be beautiful. Somebody not in your family? Oh, someone needs to go look at her family. Well, unless it's overseas. Arabs, I think they still intermarry. Oh boy, that's scary. All right, on the role of good looks in love, Gary is 7 years old. It isn't always just how you look. Look at me. I'm handsome like anything, and I haven't got anybody to marry me yet. Okay, Christine at 8 years old. Beauty is skin deep, but how rich you are can last a long time. Um, Concerning why lovers often hold hands. Dave, 8 years old. They want to make sure their rings don't fall off because they paid good money for them. That's a good one. All right. Confidential opinions about love. Anita, 6 years old. I'm in favor of love as long as it doesn't happen when The Simpsons is on. Okay. Bobby, 8 years old. Love will find you, even if you are trying to hide from it. I've been trying to hide from it since I was 5, but the girls keep chasing me and finding me. That's cute. I like that one. All right, Regina, 8 years old. I'm not rushing into being in love. I'm finding fourth grade hard enough. Fourth grade? Eight? I guess that, well, I guess. I, I don't know. That seems like she's too young for fourth grade. All right. The personal qualities necessary to be a good lover. Ava, 8 years old. One of you should know how to write a check because even if you have tons of love, there is still going to be a lot of bills. Yeah, well, boy, she must be listening to some very economy type people. Uh, Uh, some surefire ways to make a person fall in love with you. Alonzo, 8 years old, don't do things like have smelly green sneakers. You might get attention, but attention ain't the same as love. Bart, at 8 years old, one way is to take the girl out to eat. Make sure it's something she likes to eat. French fries usually work for me. uh, what most people are thinking when they say, I love you. Michelle, 8 years old, the person is thinking, yeah, I really do love him, but I hope he showers at least once a day. How to make love endure. Tom, 7 years old, spend most of the time loving instead of going to work. And Randy, 8 years old, be a good kisser. It might make your wife forget that you never take out the trash. Ah, there you have it. Yeah. Kiss her a whole bunch and she won't worry about you taking the trash out until she goes in the kitchen the next time. So there we have it. Um, we have me and William coming up next in about 15 minutes, and we're doing the World War III report. So those that are interested in that, come on by. We had them on yesterday, so it's kind of a lot like yesterday, except for a little bit more in depth uh, and talking about stuff. We got a robot coming up on the show, and I believe I've got it. And they have it in Dubai. Maybe I'll bring the robot on this show the next couple days and let you guys take a look. But me and William are going to talk about robots, drones, and the military. So, uh, you guys please subscribe and hit the bell and always share with family and friends and coworkers, your neighbor, the person behind you at the grocery store. Tell them about us. And also over Facebook, hit the follow and the like. And Facebook is growing, and I really appreciate those over on Facebook that share the program. And of course, we appreciate your support. We love our viewers. Um, and, we're working on getting more. And so far, I haven't been uh, had strikes. YouTube isn't throwing rocks at me just yet. And we're getting closer. 20 days, I believe. And I'm hopefully going to run the November event. I'm going to do it live and give you guys live updates. So, hello to DB. So we will see you in about 15 minutes. If not, we'll see you in the morning. You guys have a wonderful Wednesday, and be happy. That, don't worry, be happy. Life isn't that bad, and it can only get better. So with that, you guys, you take care and God bless.